All right. I was just saying before, we're restarting this in a proper way every night, and we're gonna get this running. So everyone's committed.
All right. Excellent. Okay, so we're doing Shara Kniya. We're up to Perik 9, Perik Tishi, and he says, "Ala Sheloim Hachno v'Hagabi." Oh no, we did this, didn't we? We did. We're up to Perik. All right, so it was interesting just to go back that he split it up into Gaiva that refers to Gashmias acquisitions, whether it's monetary or you're so good looking, you're so smart, you're knowledgeable, whatever it is. That there he said that it's clearly the opposite. No? If you have the attribute of Gaiva there, so you don't have a. And then in Ruchnias, he also broke it up into two. And at the end of the year, we were discussing what he calls the good Gaiva. It just like feels that the word Gaiva, as we know it, as arrogance, not necessarily the exact translation, because when he was describing the Chelik HaMetshubach, what it is, that like his words, that Gaiva that he has for his knowledge and his good acts that he is novas mimashu yedea that it's coming from the fact that he knows to value the tremendous chesed Hashem did with him, that he gave him this chokhmah, that he gave him the ability to do the chesed. So, and that is not a stereotype, because if I'm attributing it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right, I know that it's from Hashem's tremendous chesed, so that's an expression of Achna, right? I'm submitting a missive. I'm being machnia myself, humbling myself. All my accomplishments, attributing it to Hashem. So then, in our understanding, that's not gaiva. That's Achna. Why you call that gaiva? I have self. I know what I've done. I know my accomplishments. And I know that not from Hashem, it's tremendous, not from me, it's from tremendous chesed of Hashem that I have. So in fact, it's not gaiva, but he's saying that gaiva is good because that goes hand in hand with Achna. It's not a contradiction. So on some level, we have to, that the word gaiva here means more like self-knowledge. Aware of your strengths that you have, and even though you're aware of it, so maybe it looks like gaiva, but being that I do know and I attribute it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then that's okay. Okay, I was thinking about it after we hung up. Perek HaSiri. But what are the benefits? We've spoken about what Achna is and everything. What do I gain from having Achna? Both in Olam Hata things and in Olam Haba things. Hey, Sheish, he says there are six benefits. Three of them are benefits that I get in things dealing with Olam Haba. And three others that bring me gain and benefits in Olam Haba things. Here's the three benefits in this world things. Number one, it means someone's phone's ringing. Okay. You're satisfied, you're happy, even more satisfied, you rejoice, you're sameach with what you have, and that brings tremendous serenity, tremendous relaxation. He says, because the reason why someone who has greatness and he has gaiva, there's nothing in the world that could fulfill him. Shemachmas goyver libo hu muzalzel b'chol ma shemagiel lechelko b'kinyan ha'olam. It's because whatever he gets, since he's arrogant, nothing is sufficient. Whatever he gets is nothing compared to what he feels he should get. Like, I'm top stuff. I'm tremendous, and I should be getting everything. So whatever I get doesn't fulfill me. When a person has hachno, it lowers his expectations. Right? He's not thinking about how great he is. So if he has hachno, he doesn't see that he's special. Now again, even though he may know his accomplishments, but being that he knows what he could be, what he should be, compared to what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, so he doesn't check it up. Like, I'm so good, since he doesn't see that. So therefore, he doesn't expect a lot. Whatever I get is fine. I don't have expectations because I'm not feeling that I deserve so much. So, anything that comes his way from acquisitions in this world, the tzarech tizuno for his food, and his needs, he's okay with that. Because of his humbleness and his hachna, even a little bit of olam is enough. And that's a tremendous benefit that he has menuchas hanefesh. He has serenity. From worrying about constantly thinking how I can make more money. People in the market, they may have a lot of money. We've discussed this in the past. They want more, right? Chazal say you have 100, you want 200. You have extremely wealthy people that they're always worried and they have tension. I would assume that even that guy, who's now buying that 40 for Twitter for $45 billion, numbers that we can't fathom.
44, not 45.
Yeah, okay. Like, so I posted the other day, right? Because I saw someone said, there's 8 billion people in the world. He would give $1 billion to each person, he would still have $200 billion. So Ron gave me, of course, a run for my money. You know what I mean? But everyone had $1 billion, no one would be happy. It doesn't matter. The point, he has so much money, and here he's busy. He's gonna go public. He's gonna do this.
Even know what a Twitter is? Can you point to a Twitter? What's a Twitter?
I don't know what Twitter is. I really.
And you don't know what $44 billion is either.
All I know
Like
is
for
that
like.
if the yeshiva got $44 billion, we'd still be in debt.
Hey, that's not true. That's not true. And to tell you the truth, I don't know what $1 billion is either. So what's this, $1 billion, or 40 billion, or 200 billion? It's all like it's a number that I grew up, that used to count millionaires. That was like already making it. Millionaires is nonsense, like, these are numbers that are gone. Whatever it is, there's no menuchas hanefesh. Why, so relax now. Close up your business and relax. You made so much money, In any case, someone who has hachno, says the Chovos haLevavos, so it gives him menuchas hanefesh. He has no great expectations because he's not thinking about himself, and therefore whatever he gets is fine, and he's satisfied. He's not in the rat race because nothing pushing him. He doesn't think it's coming to him. And he doesn't live with a fear that maybe in the future he won't have what to live from. So he's happy. He's happy with what he has, and that's great. That's great. If you could live that way, that's the happiest person in the world. He could have very little, and he's the happiest person in the world because everything's good. He has enough. I just read a story about some chassid that came to his Rebbe, listing off all his woes and his worries and how everything's not working well, and he invested and he lost all his money. And the Rebbe took out a piece of paper and made a line down the middle, and on one side it's all the things I have that's good and all things I have bad. And he asked him, to start filling out the good things. And he says, I have nothing good. I mean, that's why I'm here. Everything on the bad list is easy to fill out. So the Rebbe asked him something like, did you find a wife yet? So the Chas looked at him, was surprising. He was the Masada Kaddish. You know what I mean? Of course I'm married, And will you say to children yet? And he made a whole list, of course I have 5 children. And did the police throw you out of your house? He said, what are you talking about? No police are throwing me out of the house. Wrote down, how's your eyes feeling? At the end, he told me read the list, and the guy realized how much good he has. Right? The long list of everything that's good. Someone who's Sameach B'Chelka doesn't have that other list. He doesn't have the list of all the things he doesn't have. He has a list of everything he does have, and he's rich. He has everything that's good. All right, so I don't have, so my car, is a little old. So it doesn't talk to him. But the other side, whatever he has, not enough. He never has enough, so he's never happy. And he's constantly, his mind is always bothered and busy with how can I make more money? He's always worried for the future because he has a very high level of need. And he's never happy with what he has. So he's the poor person. If he's not happy with what he has, anyone who's not happy with what they have, they're poor. Poor and rich is subjective. It's not like what it says in the bank account. It's if you have what you need, you're rich. You have everything you need. If you don't have what you need, even if it's a little bit, so you're poor. Because of his arrogance, even if he had the whole world, he won't be satisfied. Tzaddik eats just to be satiated to what he needs. But the stomach of the Rishayim is always lacking. When tzaddik eats, he's always satiated. He has enough. And the Rasha is a pasuk in Mishnah.
Is that a fair statement, though, to be actually doesn't have food? You're saying they should be happy with the portion of what they do have, but that's like a basic necessity versus, oh, you didn't have the extra vacation, which is obviously more of a luxury.
You want to ask me if someone doesn't have any food and he hasn't eaten for 2 days and he's starving,
I'm trying to apply your scenario to a more extreme case.
Right, so I'm saying you want to go to the extreme case if someone has 0, sleeping in the street. They say of a Hasidic story about the Rebbe of Zusha. He was the brother of Rebbe Reb Melech from Lezhinsk. And someone came, I think, to the Rebbe Reb Melech and asked him, basically, your question. He says, go to Anapoli, go to my brother and ask him. So he comes and he goes to Rav Zisha and says, I had this question. How could you be if you don't have everything, And Rav Zisha looked at him and says, I don't know why they sent the question to me. Now he came into this house, that's leaking the ceilings. There's no matching chairs or whatever, a whole rickety. And he says, I don't know why they sent him why anyone sent you to me. I have everything I need. I don't know what you are. So I don't know exactly, to be able to tell you, can someone be Sameach B'Chelka when he mamish hasn't eaten for 24 hours? Yeah, because he doesn't have food, he has nothing, he's sleeping on the street, he's a vagabond, he's homeless. Anyone have any input?
No, I asked the question.
You're not everyone, you're one person.
Granovsky. You're muted.
You're muted. Granovsky, you're muted. We don't hear you.
There we go.
So the story that you told is a famous story, and it's a very, very important story. If a person doesn't feel that, there's a certain person who says, I don't need anything more than I have. I have this much. I only had one meal a day, and that's all I need. That is such much regular like that.
And what happens if someone doesn't have a meal a day?
And
One
it's
meal
one
every
thing.
2 days?
Yeah, that's all I need. Notice stories of those who had tag, like Rav Shach, didn't have a meal every day, didn't seem to bother him.
Right.
We're obviously not on that level, but there was such a level like that.
Yeah, look, I think you have to infuse bitachon into the equation also. Be sameach b'chalka. If you really have bitachon that everything that's from Hashem and you get exactly what you need, then if someone really he really lives on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then Ron and I would say that yes, even if you have nothing, even if you're starving, you live with the reality that this is what's best for you and this is what you need. When we learned to Shara B'Tachon, there was a lot of talk about serenity and what B'Tachon brings you. It would seem that it's not enough to have a nova. It sounds like you might need B'Tachon also to be able to really be sameach b'chalka. What do you say, Brian? You're sitting so quietly. You're also muted. Everyone's
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have bronchitis, so I'm a little under the weather.
okay. I don't know. You look like out
The weather looks beautiful behind you.
Yeah. What do you say? Okay, look, Ron, Big Adult, you do understand it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I hear what you
yes,
say.
it's a great thing to state when everyone has their basic needs met. But when it's hard.
What happened?
Is that a sign from God?
Yeah, I guess so. But you're
Ron,
not there
we
anymore
lost
either.
you, Ron. All right, he'll come back.
That's a certain madrega. You have to be on a certain madrega for sure.
Right. So I think that you do need bitachon also. I mean, I'm just you do need bitachon. But the point is that even if you have the midah of gaiva, you can never be fulfilled. And then even bitachon is not going to help you. But if you have the midah of hachma, then you could be sameach b'chalka.
But it could, I don't think that the Mechaber is talking about everybody 100% across the board, right?
Yeah.
It's more than likely he's addressing the 90-95%. That person at the very edge
Right.
who doesn't have a bed to sleep in, who doesn't know where this next meal is coming from, he's a different category. He's not who Chovos haLevavos is addressing per se.
Right. Look.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
My internet decided to cut out. I had a brownout and I lost connection.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I'm saying is that it's easy. It's like, oh, sure, everyone in this shul or this community has their basic needs, and understand when something is more than your basic needs are there, and you shouldn't be fretting over those. What can actually is a luxury, but it's hard to apply that. You take that same teaching, saying, well, this person really doesn't have, or these children really don't have, and how it becomes assessed at that point. Like, what if we adopt the teaching instead? That would be like, okay, if these kind of people exist in your community, everyone's got to band together. I don't know. It just doesn't feel as clean.
Right. So Brian was suggesting while you disappeared that maybe we're not talking about that 5% that don't have even the basic needs fulfilled. Maybe if I was is not talking about that person. And I'm suggesting that maybe Chovos is talking about everybody, but you do need to interject the Shara B'Tachon also. And all he's saying here is that someone who is a Baal Hachnot, like so to speak, could be Sameach B'Chalka, and someone who's a Balgaiva can't be, but you might, I'm saying, Ron, it's very possible that when you're on that bottom 5% that Brian was referring to, where you have less than your most basic needs, you would also need bitochen, that this is really what's best for me, whenever we learn to shower bitochen. And in that way, you would be able to have Yisamech b'chelkai, even in a situation where you don't have your basic needs. That's how you think. Okay. In any case, so that's number
All
one.
right.
Number one. So that's the number one benefit. Samech b'chelkai. Tell us hashliyahi sha'onov kashamatzovi mishapech mitoiv l'ra. When he was in a good situation, and now it changed. It's the ra voice all of tzoris, and now he has hardships, difficulties. And he can handle them. Because his spirit, who he is, his essence, is shvala v'ruchai nemucha. And he explains on the bottom, if he doesn't feel that he should have that better situation, he's happy in any situation. He might have illnesses, he might have big debts or whatever. He doesn't feel that he should be somewhere else because he's an onof. So it's true. He got to come up with the refuah, he has to come up with the medicine, he has to come up with the money to pay. But on the other hand, still, it's not like the situation is like, this is wrong, this is not where I want, because since he's an honor, and since it's ruchai shefela, I don't think that I should be in a better situation. If I feel it's coming to me, then that makes my situation very difficult to bear. But if I don't have those expectations, right? So then I don't have those expectations. So the fact that I don't have even my basic necessities, he could be soivel them. Soivel them means he could carry them. I could live with it. Here, this might be also addressing what we were talking about, because here he's not talking about that he'll be sameach b'chalka. He's saying you could be soivel it. I can live with it.
Lowered expectations is the key to happiness.
That's what it sounds like.
For sure.
Yeah.
Does the system take into account anything along the lines of like emotional needs? Like sometimes we have certain physical treats or things like that to compensate like a physical need. Like if you're so exhausted or something, you just need would that fall outside the spectrum where we're talking about, or can that also fall in the idea of basic needs?
What do you mean? That you need sleep?
No, well, if you had an extensively difficult time or day or something like that, and you kind of just need some olam hazeh to kind of bump you up and to restore. Is that saying that would be a wrong thing if you don't have the means to do so?
Look again. Yes. Especially about what we're saying right now. He's not saying that you're going to be samech b'chelkecha, but on the other hand, you can handle it because you don't have that expectation that Magali, that I should have now the time to relax after such a hard day. You come home, you're getting married, right? You're getting married with short table with
that's what she tells me.
Right. Well, I hope you're telling her the same thing. And you come home with a hard day. Now, if you come home with a very hard day and you have that expectation, now I need to take it easy. I worked really hard. I did my job, 9 to 5, 9 to 10, whatever you work. I worked really, really hard. And now it's magia me that I should be able to sit down, and relax, however my relaxation is. But you come home and the situation is that, yes, Hashem, you have 30 kids, and they're climbing the walls, and you can't quite get that quiet time. You can go to your room and lock it, but she might break the door down looking for you. But if you don't have that expectation that when I come home, it's my quiet time. It's going to be easier, even if you need the quiet time to handle it because you don't have that expectation. If you expect it, then it's very hard to come home and then roll up your sleeves and do the dishes and clean up the house, you know? So it's the same thing. Does it mean it's easy? No, it's not easy. But you could be cyber-leasing. It's not easy. Of course, it's not easy because you really need it. You really need that space and time, but you don't have it. You just don't have it. I mean, it's easy. You don't have it. V'kasha hatzoris avageya, but the one who's arrogant, he's always in fear when he sees tzfuyos leitzoris means they're coming. Beitzara things v'kasha hatzoris boys love, and when they come, the misfortunes, the hardships. And he can't handle them. They should not because his nefesh. He's not humble. He's not simple. And he's not happy with that. So he gets tense. He gets upset. Right? The Navi says, so how'd you fall down from the heavens? You were up there. You thought you were up, then you fell. Halel ben Shachar. Because of your arrogance, you know, you came down with a hard bang from where you thought you should be and could be. Someone who's an honor, he never was up there. He didn't have those expectations. It's gonna be easy. It's gonna be good. It's okay. So when it's not so good and it's not so pleasant, he never had expectations. But a MacGyver has those expectations, and sometimes he comes down for a crash landing. And when he gets hit by them. Okay, I think we could stop here. We're up to number 3. Today's Wednesday. What's that?
Chag Sameach, everybody.
How many times are you going to say that, Ron?
Until you say it back.